YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders defense and seeing where this unit ranks and is it a top 10 unit? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so that's subscribe button again if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to check out my morning show that goes live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. We're back at it tomorrow. Top of the morning show hosted by Juan Gotti. So with that out the way, let's go ahead and cue up this music and get right into today's video. So, we want to take a look at this defensive unit for the Washington Commanders because they have been balling lately. Is it a top 10 unit? I'm going to give my opinion on it, and then we're going to take a look at where some of these articles and NFL rankings on the NFL webpage, where they have the Commanders ranked. So as we know, watching this team week in and week out, the defense has been a real reason why this team has been winning games. We've been keeping teams under, 25 points. We've been getting off the field on third downs. We've been getting consistent pressure. We've been getting, good player performances from guys that are stepping up, i.e. Derek Forrest, F.A. Obata, James Smith-Williams, a lot of rotation guys, even John Ridgeway. So this defense is coming around. And we got to give a lot of credit to not just Jack Del Rio, but more so these players finally starting to play together. Now, let's take a look at this defensive line. Jonathan Allen, baller, all-pro defensive tackle, arguably top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL, more so probably top 5, but he's up there for sure. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Then his counterpart, Daron Payne, we may have the best duo between those two in the NFL. I can't think of no other 2D tackles that are better than Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Daron Payne is going to get paid. Okay, now I'm hoping it's here. I'm hoping that connection is still there and we didn't damage it from the last year's incident. And he's human. He has Instagram, so I'm sure he saw all the trade rumors. I hope all that is still well because he's going to get paid, and we have to have him back. Okay, then you got Montez Sweat, who's starting to come along. Okay, he leads the league, or he's not a lead leaguer rather, but he's up there in the NFL in QB pressures and QB hits. Okay, so the guy may have not got a lot of sacks this year, even though he had 2 this week versus the Texans. He is constantly around the quarterback. He's setting up guys, and then he gets home from time to time. So Montez Sweat has been playing really well. James Smith-Williams, really well too. F.A. Obata, how about Casey Toohill, man? Everybody's balling. And then you take a step back and look at the linebacking core. This is one of the weakest cores on this team. And now, Jamin Davis, first-round pick from the 2021 draft. A lot of people were already giving up on him. He has arrived. He has came around, and he's proven that he is a solid linebacker, starting solid linebacker. He has the green dot now that Cole Holcomb has been out, and he's been really, really good at it. Now, will Jamin Davis ever live up to that 19th overall pick? I'm not sure, but his presence is felt, okay? He is going to be a good NFL quality starting linebacker. So that's all we can really ask for. And then when Cole Holcomb returns to the unit, we already know what he brings, okay? He's the guy that originally was supposed to get the middle linebacker, nod, but he obviously has been out. I mean, we've been getting quality reps from David Mayo. I mean, I know John Bostic is, slow and older, but he has been okay. Okay, so this defense has been playing well, and then you go to the secondary, man. That has been really, really good lately and has really improved. And that all starts by the emerging efforts from Derek Forrest and Benjamin St-Juste, man. Benjamin St-Juste has really shown his improvements and shown that he can really morph into a cornerback one when he is healthy. Remember last year in the beginning of the season, starting week 1, he was really solid for us, but he continued to battle concussions, and then you saw less of him last year. But now that he's able to stay healthy, he has shown you his ability to really morph into a cornerback one later in his career. I mean, the guy is really good. He went toe to toe with Justin Jefferson. Should have had a pick six, but they called it back for pass interference. Wasn't pass interference. And then on Monday Night Football, they called a BS pass interference call again. But then later in the game, the guy cost a massive fumble. Quez Watkins caught the pass and then he broke it up. I mean, then he got back in on the play and then forced the fumble out. Derek Forrest scoops it up. How about Derek Forrest, man? Having a pick in that game, dropping back, flipping his hips, grabbing a pick. And then we both go to the Houston game. Benjamin St-Juste breaks up the pass, and who else? None other than Derek Forrest around the ball. Both of these guys just have a great act for the ball. Benjamin St-Juste does have a little bit of improving to go as far as being a better ball hawk and tracking the ball, but the guy is on the right trajectory, and I'm super excited for his emergence and his growth. And then you go to the safety position. I already talked about Derek Forrest, but how about Cameron Curl? This guy's gonna get paid, okay? Now I don't know if it's gonna be this offseason or next offseason, but Cameron Curl has earned his next contract. The guy is amazing, bro. He's a really, 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 really good tackler. Comes down in the box, making plays, not afraid to hit. He can cover well. He does get burnt here and there, but I mean, he's a safety, okay? And he's not a blazer. So he's not a guy that we expect to always just be toe-to-toe with Aaron Jones or Dalvin Cook. And then other plays like that, like those plays, it was just a better ball by Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what can you do? But Cameron Curl is really good. I mean, and you see the difference with Cameron Curl in the lineup opposed to at the beginning of the year where he wasn't in the lineup and we were getting torched. Since he's came back from his injury, defense has been locked. And Cameron Curl is one of the leaders on this defense, especially in the secondary. So the guy has been really good, and his presence has been felt. He's a top-rated safety, and he's the top-rated safety in PFF, I believe, the last couple weeks. So the guy is amazing. And then how can I forget Kendall Fuller, a guy that I'm highly critical on, just for the simple fact that I love Kendall Fuller, man. Even going back to when his first stints with this team, but I had to keep it real. I'm like, hey man, it looks like Kendall lost a step. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look well. I mean, but he always has a slow start to the season. But as the last couple weeks, he has been killing it. I mean, had a pick six last week. The week versus the Eagles game, him and Benjamin St-Juste both holding A.J. Brown to one reception for 7 yards. They've been really well. Kendall Fuller, probably the oldest player in this secondary, or probably second to Bobby McCain, but he's the veteran. He's the leader. He's the guy that's been around here the longest. So Kendall Fuller is playing good football, okay? And he's only 27. Okay, I was talking about the guy like he was 30. That's how long he's been in the league, and he's been with the Washington Commanders, the Chiefs, and then the Washington Redskins at first. So this guy is one of the leaders, and he's been playing well. So needless to say, this whole unit is playing well, man, and I hope they can keep it up. So where do I have this team ranked? I think they're probably like top 12, top 10-ish. And I think honestly, the NFL has had them ranked right where they belong. So I think top 10 with the possible chance to get up there in the top 5-ish, at the end of the year kind of unit. But they're definitely a top unit in the NFL. But let's take a look at this article right here to see where these guys have our team ranked. So enjoy this. So we have the Washington Commanders, and this is according to Sports Not. They have the Washington Commanders ranked 11. Okay, so they have them ranked 11, and let's see where they have what they have to say about the Washington Commanders being ranked 11. And this is headed into week 12. So as you can see, previously we were ranked number 12. But let's see what they have to say. So after stunning the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football, everyone expected the Washington Commanders to neutralize the Houston Texans. Sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Houston needed 54 plays to record 148 total yards, with one of the lowest yards per play, 2.7 average in the NFL season. So the Washington Commanders, according to them, is number 11. It says looking ahead at the Commanders versus Atlanta Falcons matchup. It's a strength versus strength. Washington enters week 11 ranked 12 in run stop win rate at 31%, and the opponent has now averaged just 68.8 rush per yards or per game and 3.5 yards per carry versus Washington in the last 5 games. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons are one of the most run-heavy teams in NFL. Bet on the defensive clinic from the Washington Commanders. So they basically are saying the Washington Commanders have a really, really good chance at shutting down the Falcons' run. But we'll see. We'll get to that later in the week. And then the teams that they have, they go to look at the 3 teams that they have ahead of us. They got the Colts ahead of us, and they got the Bucks ahead of us, and then they have the Bills ahead of us. I can't really argue with any of those units because those units have been balling all year. Washington, had a slow start to the year, but now they're starting to pick it up. And then, as you can see, as we get over here to the other side, let me go ahead and remove that right there for you, and then we're going to bring up the NFL page. As we are going to bring up the NFL page right here. Give me a second. Let's go ahead and pull that up here for you. So as you can see on your screen now, the NFL page, they put up their rankings, and this is just passing rankings and rushing rankings and all that. But we're going to pay close attention to these 2 rankings right here. So passing unit, as you can see for the 2022 season, the Washington Commanders is ranked number 12. So I think this is where we perfectly are ranked. You got teams like the Colts ahead of us, you got the Chiefs and the Chargers ahead of us, and the Cardinals. But I think Washington is right where they should be at this current moment. I think we're one of the better passing defending teams in NFL. So 12 is not really a bad ranking for this team. We could definitely get higher at some point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we finish the season like at 7 or 6 or maybe even 5. But right now, 12 is really a solid stat for us. And this isn't just the overall unit. This is just passing. And then you look at the rushing. Okay, rushing the Washington Commanders are also in the top 15 when it comes to run stopping. Now, this is a little bit of a debate that could be had when it comes to rushing, because I think that Washington could be ahead of teams like maybe the Colts or the Chiefs or even the Chargers when it comes to stopping the run, because we are one of the better run stopping teams in the NFL. But overall, guys, I cannot even argue with what a lot of these rankings have us at. I think it's pretty solid considering the fact that we had a slow start to the season. Now you look at some of our our early games. I think Washington really turned it on. Maybe like week 5 is when the defense really started to click and get things going. So as you can see, I have the previous games pulled up here on the screen, and you look at the Commanders. Okay, so week 1 we allowed 22 points. Okay, not that bad. Okay, 22 points is okay. Then you go to week 2, 36 points. Not good. Jared Goff, we remember that game. Jared Goff got off on us. Then the Eagles game, 24 points. But they scored all of that in the second quarter. They didn't score any more points in the second half. Okay, we locked them up the whole second half. So I think maybe like week 5 versus the Titans is where the Washington Commanders really started to lock down. But they even showed signs in week 3 versus the Eagles, and week 4 versus the Cowboys. Is just so happened that the offense, as you can see, scored 8 and 10. So the offense really couldn't get nothing going. But the defensive efforts since week 3 has been really solid. But I think they really started to lock down in week 5 versus the Titans game, a game that we should have won. You see, they only allowed 21 points, and then they allowed 7 points versus the Bears, and then they allowed 21 points versus the Packers, and then they allowed went on to allow 16 points versus the Colts, and then 20 points versus the Vikings, another game that we should have won. And then you look at the next game, they only allowed 21 points from the Eagles. In the first matchup, we only allowed 24, and then this time we only allowed 21. And then in the Commanders game, the most recent game versus the Texans, we only allowed 10. So again, this defensive unit has been really good. They have showed life since week 3. They really started to turn on in week 5, and ever since they have not looked back. And I hope that's how everything continues to play out. Washington sitting around, roughly around like the outside of the top 10 right now, sitting at like 12 according to most, articles and stats and standings right now. But I would not be surprised if people believe this is a top 10 unit, and as of today, wouldn't argue at all. I think this team may finish at the end of the year probably like 7 or 6, and I'm totally fine with that, considering the fact of where we were last year, and we're still missing our number 2 overall pick, Chase Young. Imagine when we get him back at some point, whether it's this year or next year. So yeah, man, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. What do you have the Washington Commanders defense ranked right now? As always, it's being boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to the Washington Commanders. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you popped.